Hello, parents and guardians and students, if you're watching this, I guess. I just wanted to give you like an overview of what my asynchronous lessons look like and why they're important. And also why they're not like difficult or complicated, really. I do a lot of work to try to make sure that these lessons are accessible for every single student who has low bandwidth internet access. So if you can watch a YouTube video, you can do these lessons. I also work really hard to make sure that every single lesson I have can be done on a phone, just in case that is students' only option for internet access. But I guarantee it all works on a Jefferson County issued Chromebook. So the first slide will always be an overview of the lesson, right? So if students are confused, they should just watch the lesson on the first, excuse me, the video on the first side, and they will see step by step, like what we're doing through the entire lesson. I walk them through every single slide. If they want to see like the whole thing from beginning to end, so they have an idea. Slide 2 is just about always going to be what students need to know in order to like accomplish the lesson, in order to actually turn stuff in. And I'm typically going to link these to YouTube videos. Then they're going to have the learning targets. This is what we're doing in class this week. This is why we're doing it. And this is the materials students will need. These pink these pink slides are the like deliverables at the end. This is what students are actually going to do. And for every checkbox, oops, maybe I should make these better checkboxes. For every single checkbox, they actually should turn something in for those. So this has two assignments here. Read and annotate the dialogue. For that one, students turn in pictures of their annotations. And this last part is to create a character web, which is just like a drawing or some kind of digital photo that that shows the connections between characters and what that and describes that relationship and connects it to motivation a little bit. And I'll show you a few examples of that. Assignment 5. Oh, I should say, every time there's something students have to turn in, I will always provide examples unless we've done it a bunch of times in class together. So for assignment 5, or excuse me, slide 5, there will be some kind of connection between last week and this week. This is usually going to be a video. Slide 6 is this one is a lesson on like some examples of character motivation in Act 1 through Actively Learn, an example of what the annotations might look like, and where I kind of model the sort of thinking that a reader does when they're reading a complex text. The goal is just like in math, where a math teacher will show students a bunch of different examples of how to solve the problem. Most of literature is thinking about stuff, and most of reading is the ability to interact with the text through reading it, right? So I kind of model that process by thinking aloud. Right now we're reading The Crucible, but they have 4 options for accessing it. 3 of them are totally free for your student. If they want to write in the book, they should buy it. I also give them Post-its in class if they need them to annotate. There's a free PDF, and there are free PDF annotators. They're kind of a pain, most of them. Kami's pretty good, but a lot of them stink. And Actively Learn is something that the English 10 team is piloting this year with a novel. And it's a little pricier for us, but like we decided it would guarantee students access to a text that also like we can embed videos in. We can do a lot of stuff with that. So it's a platform that we're trying out to see if it's viable for the long term. Slide 8 has 2 things I want to note. I'm trying to use as many bulleted checklists, like do this, play the black video, then annotate for character motivations, 3 to 5 annotations. Whoops. Let me just make that a little bit longer now. There we go. Oh, and I should say, you've seen this stop Bitmoji of me. Any slide with that is important enough where if students miss it, then they will miss a significant portion of the lesson. It'd be like if they went to the bathroom for, in this case, 40 minutes and then came back, we would have moved on and they would be confused. I also, with every book we read all together, will provide an audiobook. this one is a pretty good example on YouTube. And then whenever students see this that says turn in, it's a picture of what Google Classroom looks like for them when they have something to turn in. They have to add something to this assignment in Classroom. And we've gone over how to do that, and they've done it in their other classes successfully as well. I usually build in some kind of break. This one is just go outside and ponder, come back for 10 minutes, because just staring at a screen for like 90 minutes straight is bad for you. Then I do ask students to like create a project, because a lot of research I've read over the summer indicates that doing this kind of online work is good if it can be as project-based as possible. So I try to build in simple projects like this one, a character web. Here are grading criteria. It must have these things. This video is me talking through an example that I made for a different book, The Great Gatsby, if you guys have read it, on a platform called ThingLink. I will always show students a good example and a not so good example. For these kinds of assignments, I also try to provide a high-tech, a low-tech, and a no-tech option. Okay, so they can just draw the whole thing on a piece of paper. That's perfect, as long as they meet the grading criteria. They actually don't have to draw pictures of the characters at all. The low-tech is Google Jamboard, which they may have used in some of their other classes, but also may not have. And the high-tech option is you get a character map, like you draw the character web, then you upload it to ThingLink, and you use their image annotation tools to embed media and all sorts of other cool things. Like you can do a lot of neat stuff, but this is as simple or as intricate as you want to get. You will not be punished as long as you meet the whole grading criteria for choosing the no-tech option, I promise. I also, you'll see, use a lot of timers, because sometimes students struggle with like how long to spend on different parts. So the timer is to help them keep on track. I want them to upload the image here. There's a final checklist before you submit. I do like a wrap up of the lesson. You know, here's what we learned. Here's how it connects to stuff before. Here's how it's connecting to the next part. And then you learn stuff, you're done. Because by the end of this, students should at least feel confident identifying characters' motivations based on their words. And that is the asynchronous lesson we did the week of September 14th through really the 17th. And I post these lessons the Friday. We're having our first regular Friday soon. I post these that Friday, and they go through the whole week. Okay, so they're the lesson for that Friday. We'll probably do part of it in class together, and then that is the asynchronous lesson as well, regardless of what order the asynchronous class or the online class and the in-person class fall. Okay, I really hope that that makes sense, and that I know this video is longer. I promise you it's longer than the one I make for students, but I wanted you to see what I was doing with your student so that you had the opportunity to ask me questions, and so that you had the opportunity to see what school, at least what 10th grade English is like for your student. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm excited to be your student's teacher. Thank you.